We're back again today to do another e-learning session. Harvest Land is located in Indiana and Ohio, so we're going to do some agricultural statistics and have a little friendly competition between Indiana and Ohio. Go ahead.
All right, to start off, which state produces the most popcorn?
Indiana. Indiana is number 2. Ohio is number 3. Nebraska ranks number 1 in the nation. 25% of the popcorn grown in the United States is from Nebraska. Who has the most laying hens? Indiana. We have 32 million. Ohio has 30 million. Iowa ranks number 1 in the United States.
Keeping up with the chickens, who ranks higher in egg production, Ohio or Indiana? Ohio. We rank number 2, where Indiana ranks number 3. Iowa is still in first place with 53,000.
Who grows the most cucumbers used to make pickles?
Ohio. We rank number 6, where Indiana is number 8. Surprisingly, Michigan is state number 1, where they grow the most cucumbers used for pickles. Who would have thought? Okay, who grows the most tomatoes used for processing? So for like ketchup and things like that.
Indiana. We are number 2. Ohio is number 3. But Ohio does produce more salad tomatoes than Indiana. California is number 1. And going to give a little shout out. Red Gold Tomatoes is located in Indiana.
There you go.
Okay. Who produces the most pumpkins? It's tricky.
That is a tricky one.
Yeah. Indiana. Indiana ranks number 2. Ohio ranks number 3. Illinois ranks number 1.
Who produces the most honey in pounds? Ohio or Indiana? Surprisingly, Ohio. Ohio makes 850,000 pounds of honey, where Indiana only makes 322,000 pounds.
That means you have more than double.
We have a lot of bees in Ohio.
Apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Who has the most cattle? Indiana or Ohio?
Ohio. Indiana comes in with 194,000, where Ohio has 298. Texas is actually number 1 for cattle with 13 million head.
That's a lot of cattle.
That's a lot of hamburgers.
Go Longhorns.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which state ranks higher for having the most hogs?
Indiana. We are number 5. Ohio is number 9. Iowa has the most. They're number 1. We should have kept track for Iowa on this. They've had a lot of the first.
Iowa's doing good with ag stats.
Who has the most turkeys? Indiana or Ohio? It's Indiana. We have 21,500,000 turkeys. Ohio has 5,900,000. So we have more than 3 times the number of turkeys. Minnesota is number 1 with 49 million turkeys.
A lot of turkeys. Yeah. Okay, who has the most goats, meaning meat goats and other kinds? Ohio actually has 43,000. Indiana has 37,000. Who do you think's ranked number 1?
Tennessee.
Texas. Close.
Start with the T. All right. Which state plants the most winter wheat? We'll go to 2019 statistics. So who planted the most winter wheat in 2019? Ohio or Indiana?
Ohio for the win. We planted 500,000 acres of winter wheat this year, where Indiana planted 330,000 acres.
Who do you think's number 1?
Kansas.
Yep.
What state has the most acres farmed? Ohio or Indiana?
Indiana. In Indiana, we have 14,900,000 acres total farmed. And in Ohio, they have 13,600,000. So we have more than 1 million acres more of farm ground.
It's a lot of acres.
It is. Who has the highest number of farms? Which state? Indiana or Ohio?
Ohio actually has 77,500 farms, where Indiana has 56,000 farms. Now with that, who has the biggest average size of their farm?
I think that's easy. It's going to be Indiana, because earlier we said Indiana had more farm acres, but we have less farms. So that means the average size of our farms is larger. So Indiana for the win. The average size of a farm in Indiana is 242 acres. The average size of a farm in Ohio is 184 acres.
Your turn, my turn.
Is it my turn?
I
I can't
know.
remember. We've lost track.
It's a fun game.
Yeah. All right. Which state produces the most amount of milk in pounds? Indiana or Ohio?
It's going to be a pretty big number, with Ohio being at 5,425,000,000 pounds of milk, where Indiana comes in with 4,073,000,000. And where do you think's the number one milk producer with poundage?
I'm going to go with Wisconsin.
That makes sense, because Wisconsin has the cheese, but it's actually California. So with the milk, what's your favorite thing to make out of milk?
Cookies and milk or ice cream?
Ice cream. So, what state between the two of us produces the most ice cream?
Indiana. We're number 2. Ohio is number 8. California is number 1.
Your turn to read.
All right. So Indiana produces the most ice cream. Who eats the most ice cream? Indiana or Ohio?
Ohio ranks number 20, where Indiana only ranks 34. Who ranks number 1?
I'm going to go with Hawaii because it's warm there.
Alaska actually has the most ice cream ate per person. So they come in at number 1.
It's cold there.
I
That's
was
a surprise.
surprised too.
Yeah, okay. That was a surprise.
Okay.
You're going to do that one, all right?
I'll do this one.
Okay.
Now, back to the states. For which state has the cardinal for the state bird? Both Ohio and Indiana have the cardinal. Thought that was interesting as well.
Yeah. Okay, we'll each read our own state cards. So, to finish this out, we're going to do a little bit of special statistics about each of our states. So, Indiana, it's the 10th largest farming state in the United States. More than 80% of our land is devoted to farms, forests, and woodlands. And we are number 1 in duck production. Go, Indiana.
Now, for us farmers in Ohio, we have over 400 kinds of soil alone in Ohio. 1 out of every 8 people in Ohio has some kind of job associated with agriculture, which makes agriculture the number 1 industry in Ohio.
Now, earlier we tallied up our answers, and we realized that we're at a tie.
We are.
So, Indiana and Ohio are both really important in agriculture. Thanks for being with us today, and we'll continue these series on Harvest Land's Facebook page and on our YouTube. We're going to have several lessons over the coming weeks that if you have students at home, they can tune in and learn a little more about agriculture. Thanks for being with us today.
Go Bucks!
I can't choose IU or Purdue. Ugh.